So I just saw Captain America Civil War, and yeah, it's going to be a spoiler review. So first off, you know it's going to be a spoiler review. If you want to complain, then you have the ability to shut the damn video off and go watch something else and then come back to this the day after you see it or the day of you see it. You have that option. Don't sit here and tell me you don't have that option. Okay? Now that that's out of the way, what did I think of Captain America Civil War? It was probably the best damn Avengers movie I've ever seen in a long time. Now, granted, it's not actually an official titled Avengers movie, but it's got more characters in it than the Avengers does itself. It's... Alright, considering this is a spoiler review, I'm gonna get this out of the way right now. Nobody dies, and I'm sorry, where the heck did that come from to begin with, that everybody's expectation was, oh, somebody's gonna die? Okay, first of all, let me just get this out of the way right now. Everybody knows that in the comic book, Captain America gets axed by Crossbones, okay? Crossbones dies in the first 5 seconds, so your expectation for that gets thrown right out the window. Okay, now, I'm sorry, but somebody made an assumption that somebody was getting killed off, and now everybody started running with that as quickly as they possibly could. So now everybody started thinking, oh yeah, somebody's gonna get killed off. And I'm just gonna tell you this right now, because it was all speculation and nothing was ever confirmed. Don't you even dare walk out of this movie saying, oh yeah, that was complete horseshit because nobody died. The only person that died is Peggy Carter, and of course, because she's, what, 90-some years old? Alright, get over it. Nobody died. But yeah, so AntMan... Oh my god, okay, the biggest surprise with him was when he turns into Giant Man. And I'm sorry, but the stuff, like the promotion, the action figures and stuff, that ruined it. That completely ruined it. But that doesn't draw away from the fact of how awesome it was. Now, Paul Rudd and Tom Holland as Spider-Man, those are obviously the comic relief. This kid, this Tom Holland guy, what a job. Oh my god. So yeah, it's very clear that this take on Spider-Man is a teenage version. It's very, very clear that he's back in high school. He doesn't know what he's doing. At one point, Stark even says to him, yeah, you're done. Go home. You're done. Like, it's very clear that he still has a long road ahead of him to go. But the fact is, the film doesn't draw away from the fact that it is a Captain America movie, which I was even glad that there was a Captain America movie, period. I was just happy about that. And, yeah, the very opening shot of the scene is Bucky's getting the brain shit done, and I'm like, seriously, we're going with this again? It was horrifying in The Winter Soldier. Why do you gotta show this shit again? But yeah, it becomes very clear that Baron Zemo and William Hurt as Thunderbolt Ross, which finally connects the Incredible Hulk. It kind of brings it right back into it, because they kind of just shoved it aside for a long time. Yeah, so it's very clear that those two are kind of pulling the strings behind the whole operation. And Baron Zemo, Daniel Burl, or however the hell you pronounce this, he does such an amazing job. It's like mind-blowing just how puppet-like this guy. Now I know I'm gonna sit here and be honest. I don't know a goddamn thing about Baron Zemo. I know absolutely nothing except he wears a purple suit and he works for Hydra. That's it. But I like the take on him in this. But can we please start getting these? Can we really please start getting these supervillains out of business suits and into goofier shit like you had Crossbones at the opening of this film? Can we start doing that from now on? Like, please, Marvel. With the exception of Kingpin. Kingpin's like the only guy who even deserves to be in a suit. But yeah, I thought it was really good, considering that it is a Captain America movie. Tony Stark, Robert Downey Jr. gets probably as much screen time as Chris Evans. They deliver such an emotional impact towards one another. It hits you because you've seen these guys go through 8 years worth together. It hits you hard. Like, they were gonna call a truce, and Baron decides, oh yeah, I'm gonna show Stark that Bucky killed his parents, and Stark goes ballistic, like he should. So Cap beats the shit out of him, and Stark goes, you don't deserve that shield. My dad made that shield. You can have it back. That was such an emotional thing. Oh my god, that was nuts. But yeah, all the characters did really well. I didn't think it was going to focus that much on Wanda as it did, but it was really... I'm at a loss for... I really am. I'm at a loss for words. I've never done this before with a Marvel movie. This was nuts. I mean, goddamn, here... I never thought I would ever see Spider-Man and Captain America beat the shit out of each other on the big screen. I never thought I was going to ever see that. And there we go. Marvel completely did that. It was amazing. I'm going to be corny and say it was amazing. That was, wow, son of a bitch. But yeah, I really liked the costume design on him. He was pretty cool. AntMan as Giant Man, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen. So basically, Spider-Man wraps him up like in The Empire Strikes Back, and he literally references it too. It is so goddamn funny. But everybody's just sitting there, and they're like, he's just a kid. Everybody makes that damn joke. And even Stark was sitting there and hitting on Aunt May, because Aunt May is apparently like 30, 40 years old now. I just thought that was the funniest thing I had ever seen. Because he's sitting there, he's like, well, you're too young to be an aunt, and pretty, well, thin. And she goes, oh, well, we come in all shapes and sizes. It was actually really funny. He's just sitting there hitting on his aunt. But yeah, I was surprised that they showed like the homemade brew shit, and Stark figured it out like right away. It threw a punch at me. Now, it's quite obvious this movie was intended to be the follow-up to Bucky, but they kind of just built a Civil War storyline around it. But that doesn't distract from the fact that it's still Cap and Bucky have a story together. The only difference is they threw the Accords in right away, and they don't... the Accords is basically the Registration Act. You sign over your superhero identity. Well, in this case, it's you have to agree that the government will call you in whenever they need you. And Cap's like, that's horseshit. And then that's the end of it. Cap, they very limitedly mention it, very rarely talk about it, and then Stark kind of goes ballistic on him, and then the rest of the movie, it's all about Black Panther wanting to kill Bucky, and then the big airport fight in Germany breaks out, and there was a funny little quip too where Stark was like, yeah, have you ever been to Germany? And Peter Parker's like, whoa, no, I can't go to Germany. Oh, don't worry, we'll tell your mom. Or your aunt or whatever. It was a funny little quip. But yeah, the end credit scene was pretty good too. This has to be my favorite Captain America movie. Me personally, I've been a huge fan of the Captain America movies ever since the first Avenger. I was one of those people at first who was like, oh yeah, whatever, it's gonna be so stupid. But yeah, no, Captain America really grew on me. As a matter of fact, when I went through a lot of hard times in the last couple years, it was actually Chris Evans' performance as Captain America that kept me going through all the bullshit and everything I had to deal with. And you know, even if I had the chance to sit here and say thank you to Chris Evans for getting me through like the toughest of tough times, I would. Yeah, thank you, Chris Evans. Your portrayal as Captain America really helped me get on the right track and get things going again and start over a new life. And Yeah, I know who I'm going to be running with.